Hey friends, come on in, join me live. Today we're going to have our Friday immigration news summary of the week. I have some really important updates to share with you, some good news and even news from the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling today in the world of immigration. We're going to talk about that, and we'll also talk about some very exciting things that are coming up next week for spouses of U.S. citizens. Come on in, join me, say hello, give me some hearts, give me some likes, say where you're watching from, and certainly type in freedom now, if you truly believe that. Freedom now for yourself, for your family, your children, other people. Come on in, type in freedom now, and send some positive vibes and energy to those who are watching today. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide and across the globe at McBean Law, where we believe that freedom is now. Contact us, friends, for an immigration consultation about your problem, or about a future filing, or about a denial, or you'd like to appeal a decision, or something that that has triggered the need for immigration relief in your life. Contact us at 888-462-4006, or go to McBeanLaw.com and request an appointment with us. It's so terrific, guys. I'd like to thank you for watching my channel, watching my videos. Thank you for supporting this channel. We just hit 23 million views on this channel, and it's only because of your support over the years. So thank you very much for supporting this channel. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now and hit that notification bell so that you'll get notice of my live sessions and videos each week. Now let's get into some immigration news, okay? We have some really important things to talk about today. I'm pulling the news as usual, friends, from our weekly immigration news summary. If you have not checked your email yet, go check your email after this session and pull up the top 7 immigration news that we sent you today. For those of you who have not subscribed to our newsletter, subscribe now at McBeanLaw.com/subscribe. So, guys, really interesting news came out of the U.S. Supreme Court today in the world of immigration, okay? And this involves removal. Individuals who are here in the United States who somehow landed in immigration court proceedings or deportation removal proceedings, and they didn't show up to court. Okay, so they didn't show up to court, and a judge issued a removal order in their absence. And now, fast forward some years, they're making arguments based on previous Supreme Court rulings. They're making various arguments to reopen these old cases that reopen and rescind, throw out, get rid of the old removal order. They didn't go to court to defend themselves, and now they're in this situation where in order to get immigration relief or green card, they need to reopen and rescind that old removal order. So what happened today, the decision that came out today from the U.S. Supreme Court, friends, makes it harder, okay, harder for those individuals to make certain arguments. Supreme Court gives leeway to government over deportation summons. So the Supreme Court actually sided with the government on this one. And just to read just a little bit from this Washington Times article, it says that the Supreme Court shot down a challenge Friday by illegal immigrants who said they weren't properly served their court summons in a ruling that heads off chaos in the deportation system. The case hinged on what information had to be included in the initial summons or notice to appear given to the migrants, to immigrants, at the time they were processed and released. Justice Samuel Alito, writing for the majority in a 5-4 ruling, said the law requires only that the that all of the information be provided in time, not that it all has to be in the initial summons. So what does this mean? Okay, so let's break it down a little bit here. So the Supreme Court is basically blocking, well, they're siding with the government to block immigrants from reopening these old removal cases in which they were ordered removed in their absence or in absentia, simply because their first notice to appear did not have the date and time on that notice. So long as some notice was received at some point of this hearing, these individuals they can't now make an argument that, well, they never actually had gotten the proper notice, therefore reopen my case and rescind it. So here's what this looks like. The first notice to appear had no time and date on it. And then a second notice was sent with all of the correct information, everything, providing notice to the individual that they need to show up to court at a certain time and date and location at the right location. But the immigrant blew off the hearing. They didn't appear. Some people blow it off. Other people have a valid reason for not appearing. So they didn't appear. And when they did not appear, the judge issued an order of removal. Now they're arguing, well, I'd like for you to reopen and rescind that removal order due to the first bad notice that I received. But the court said, no, you show up to court and make an argument that that first notice that was wrong. And if you made such an argument, well, you may have a case at that point. But you can't now make that argument after having already received notice. So that's what happened here today with this case, and it says here that the Justice Alito wrote. Let me go back here with the article. He wrote here that today's decision does not mean that the government is free of its obligation to provide a notice to appear, but the law does not allow aliens to seek rescission of removal orders in perpetuity based on arguments they could have raised in a hearing that they chose to skip. So that's the ruling that came out of the Supreme Court today. So yes, it will have an impact on a number of removal cases. Now, it does not mean that if you have a removal order and because you did not show up to court and defend yourself, it doesn't mean that you still cannot reopen the case or seek to reopen it. We actually, at McBean Law, we have had success, and we still work on cases like this. We currently are working on cases like this to reopen cases for individuals who were ordered removed in their absence or in absentia, so long as we have a basis to do that. We have to have an argument that we could make, and if we have that strong argument, we move forward with such a request to the government. And you could read our success stories on our website, McBeanlaw.com/success, and see what we have argued for other individuals in the past. So guys, that's the first big thing. Type in Freedom Now as you're coming in, guys. Freedom Now on this Friday, Freedom Now. We're going to get into the next big piece here. And this is good news, okay? I'm getting into some good news in this story. And this, friends, has to do with what we're expecting to see happen on Tuesday. DACA holders or folks with DACA, listen up, because there's something in this for you too. I just found out. Okay, I found out about half an hour ago. So we're going to talk about what could potentially be on the in the works for those of you with DACA related to next week. So friends, next week, as I've already shared with you and other lawyers are talking about as well and in the news, President Biden is going to have an event at the White House on Tuesday to commemorate the 12th year anniversary of DACA. And sources from the White House have leaked the fact that during this announcement, during this event, he's going to announce some good things for spouses of U.S. citizens. And what he's going to focus in on, friends, as we've discussed before, is a parole in place for spouses of U.S. citizens. And this is Tuesday, okay? This is Tuesday. This is U.S. News reporting out. The other short report that I gave to you guys yesterday was from, I think, NPR. But anyway, Biden is expected to unveil the effort as soon as Tuesday at a White House event, two of the sources said. And what he's going to roll out is this parole in place that would allow spouses of U.S. citizens, okay, to finally be able to obtain their work permit, firstly, and then be able to adjust their status for those who have been ineligible to adjust their status. Those of you who have the permanent bar, permabar, or some other very serious problems like false claim to U.S. citizenship on your record and other complicated roadblocks in the way, okay? I don't know yet how this is going to help in those circumstances quite yet. Now, once they come out with the details, we'll be able to more concretely say to you, okay, here's who this really applies to, and here's who it can't help. So stay tuned for those details. Hopefully we'll get them very soon. But this is expected to help about 1 million people, potentially, okay? So let's see how this works out. And when I talk about the permanent bar, I'm talking about those who have multiple entries into the United States. That is a significant roadblock with getting your status fixed, okay? So let's see how this may help some of those people. I don't think it will. I just don't think it's going to go that far, okay? I think it's going to help those who have the initial illegal entry, and that's really it. But let's see what they come out with on Tuesday, so stay tuned. Now, for those with DACA, let me scroll down here and show you. So apparently, again, this is an event about DACA, right, that they're planning on having on Tuesday. And let's see, let me find that place here where the article talks about the fact that they plan to also consider something. Oh, here it is. Okay. And let me just zoom in on this. So for those of you with DACA, this article or the sources have leaked that the U.S. State Department also could roll out new guidance that says DACA recipients should be presumed eligible for non-immigrant visas if they leave the U.S., one of the sources said. I also told you guys that in other articles, they're talking about the fact that they're unclear. Additional policy options are also being discussed, but no real decision had been made yet as it relates to what additional policy changes they're going to talk about, or President Biden will talk about on Tuesday. We'll see what those are. Could very well be this great news involving DACA holders, or it could be something else. We'll see what they come up with. But guys, if you like that or excited about all of this, type in freedom now, or say, I like this, okay? And then the last piece of information before we go today is the Biden administration has been suspected, of course. Unfortunately, they've allowed some folks with terrorist ties to enter the United States. Okay, so you may have seen this all over the news that 8 people with possible Islamic State ties have been arrested in the United States on immigration violations. Guys, these individuals were allowed into the country last year spring. They were allowed in, and now they're under arrest, and they have ties to the Islamic State. The arrest took place in New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles, and the individuals who entered the U.S. through the southern border are being held on immigration violations. The nature of their suspected connections to the IS, is that what the Islamic State, was not immediately clear. Okay, but they were being tracked by the FBI. And they were in ISIS custody, and now they're going through proceedings to be deported from the U.S. So only 8, okay, only 8 have been caught, and this, of course, shows strongly the lack of protocols that were really being followed by the by border officials, because the borders were truly not being managed the way that it should have been managed. So there you go. So guys, we on Monday I will be back before you in a live Q&A session at 1 o'clock Eastern time, right here on McBean Immigration TV. So be sure to tune in. And certainly Tuesday, I'm really looking forward to to see what will happen at the White House event. So I'll probably be back before you again on Tuesday. Okay, so get used to me, at least right during this time. Get used to me. I'm going to try to keep you guys posted on what's happening. Guys, thanks again so much for your views. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting. Again, we could be reached at McBean Law at 888-462-4006 or at McBeanLaw.com to discuss your immigration case or problem. We're here for you, and we'd be happy to work with you. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Thanks so much for watching today, guys, and I will see you in the next one. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Have a terrific weekend with your family, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.